Hey, y'all. Happy 4th. Happy 4th of July. I hope y'all out there, having a good time. Oh, y'all at the barbecue, having your barbecue, eating your hot dogs, your burgers, whatever else y'all eat. Listen, I'm almost coming up on 2 years. 2 years being a vegetarian, okay? Holla for a sister. It's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I did for over 20 years, I'm going to say. Over 20. Matter of fact, let me take that back. Probably over 30 years. I had dropped down to just eating chicken and fish. Listen, I don't got nothing against anybody, any meat lovers, so don't be coming at me. But I had dropped down to just chicken and fish. And then almost like I said 2 years ago, I just dropped meat altogether. Yes. So I am officially, I guess for right now, listen, if you catch me ever with a piece of chicken in my mouth or something like that, don't judge me. But as of this moment today, right here on July the 4th, Diva's a vegetarian, okay? So listen, but happy, eating out, cooking out day, whatever it is y'all doing. And if you're going to see the fireworks, have fun. If you're here hanging out with me, listen, I'm glad to have you. Thanks for being here. Hit the like button, people. Hit the like button if you're going to be a passenger on this train. That's all I ask you to do is hit the like button. So listen, today we're doing trending topics as we normally do, right? Trending topics, okay? Trending topics, and the title is called Doing Too Much. Doing too much. That's the title, Doing Too Much. So Roger Bonds, who was security, and not just security, head of security for Diddy for over a decade. So he's seen some things. Matter of fact, he saw a lot of things. So Roger Bonds, Diddy security, and Roger want to claim now he ain't really get paid. He had to work long hours. He had to shut his mouth. Doctor Who. So he goes on Vlad TV. They love to go over there, right? He goes on Vlad TV and he said if he had to testify, if they call him to testify against Diddy, he'll do it. He said he got 4 daughters and a son. One of his daughters is in the entertainment industry. Oh, you don't say. So now all of a sudden he got an aha moment. He want to protect the ladies. Well, there was a ton of ladies. I guess he's trying to do atonement because there was a ton of ladies that went unprotected under his watch when he was working for Diddy. He kept his mouth shut. And I wonder to myself, let's just say Cassie never sued. Let's just say none of this ever came out. Would he have spoken up if nobody else spoke up first? Whatever, Roger Bonds. But we'll have a conversation with you, but I'm going to say whatever. Okay? And then we got this, her name is Olivia Culpo. She married I want to say a football player. His name is Christian. His last name, Christian McCaffrey. And she wore a nice, beautiful, modest wedding dress. I'm starting to think everybody will just say whatever and do whatever for a click in the view. So there was some content creators from TikTok that said, she's being a pick-me, that her dress was, real simple. So, I mean, even on your wedding day now, you got to be spreading it wide and dropping it low and wearing see-through wedding dresses. That became a major trend. These see-through wedding dresses. So now you have someone who wants to cover up and be modest and be what she considers to be respectable for her husband walking down the aisle in the church, and people want to rag her and drag her for filth. This is what the world has come to. And then you wonder why you have extremes like Kanye West and Diddy. Because here you are, you got somebody trying to cover up and the people are still mocking them. Where's the balance? Then we got this teacher. What is going on? I'll never understand an adult who will look at a child in a sexual way. I don't get it. I don't get what you're attracted to. You're an adult looking at a child. You're an adult wanting to sleep with a child. She got a female teacher who not just one, but two, and that's the two that they know about. Slept with a student, bought the student a lavish gift, a Gucci belt. She got busted with that student, and while she was waiting to go on trial with for what she did with student A, she starts messing with student B and gets pregnant with his child. This woman has got to be cuckoo. Got pregnant with his child. And then want to cry in the court when she gets sentenced. Then want to talk about her baby, and she would come into court with a baby onesie tucked in her clothes so the people could feel sorry for her. No, ma'am. You took advantage of kids. And we're going to lock you up. Yes, we are. That's what we're going to do. You're getting locked up. Messy. But we're going to talk about it. Yes, we are. Somebody put in that chat, hashtag doing too much. Now, again, I'm glad you're here hanging out with me on the 4th. I thought I was going to be here by myself. But, you know, when I'm here with 10 people, 20 people, or 30, the show still has to go on. And I appreciate y'all. Hit that like button. Because I'm about to load the train up. The train car is light today. If you bold and you want to come up and chat with me, hit that link and come on up. I'm going to bring the people on in the building. Hey.
Choo choo.
Choo choo. Now listen, guys. E is here. She hanging out with me. Come on now, Mama Misha. Doing too much. She hanging out with me on this 4th of July. E is building her platform. Now, y'all have seen her over here live. Go over there, check her channel out. It's exactly how her name is on the screen. In Touch with E. Go over there and subscribe. You're welcome.
Thank you, Diva.
You're welcome. And throw your channel in the chat, E, because it looked like we doing this today. We doing this today together, and I guess Katrina's gonna join us. But it's us. We gotta rock this thing out tonight. Okay, give them a 4th of July show. Okay?
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, come on now.
Okay, I'm on a train for real. Choo choo choo.
Come on.
Hey.
All right, we ready. We ready. We about to do this. Okay, it's ladies' night. We about to do this. And you know what? First, I'm going to talk Roger Bonds. Because in all seriousness, you know what's getting on my nerves? What's getting on my nerves is now all of these people want to come up and say, oh, Diddy is so sinister. He did this to me. Excuse me. And I'm not saying they don't have the right to say that. But what is pissing me off with some of them is they're putting 20 on 10. If you really had all of these morals, why didn't you speak up before Cassie spoke up? Why didn't you speak up sooner so that many lives could have been saved and not destroyed? Why didn't you use your words back then? But let me go ahead and get into this story with Roger Bonds. Let me see, where am I at? Okay. So Diddy's former bodyguard, Roger Bonds, is ready to testify against the mogul, is summoned to do so. Why wait till you get summoned? Why don't you go down and tell the people everything you know? Because right now they're struggling to indict Diddy. So if you want to be a real superhero, why don't you call up the FBI, whomever, and say, listen, I got some information that can help you get this thing moving along. Why don't you do that? Okay? So despite Sean Diddy Combs attempting to absolve his problems with a whitewater rafting trip, his legal woes are far from over. The disgraced mogul's former bodyguard, Roger Bonds, recently appeared on Vlad TV and admitted that he would testify against Combs if subpoenaed by the court. If I get subpoenaed, I'm not going to jail for nobody, says Bonds. Initially, DJ Vlad clarified that his cooperation is optional and affirmed that he wouldn't be thrown in jail if he chose to remain silent, but Bonds would testify regardless. I can't say that I'm going to be an advocate for one thing and did not stand up for another thing he explained. So if I say that he's evil and I say all things about him, if I was just one of those people that went back in my corner and sat down, then I'm continuing for this to keep going on and on. Dude, you continue for it to go on and on for over a decade. So what are you saying? I'm showing this person that they was just as powerful as they think they was. Anything I could do to help these women, I would do. Bonds later emphasized that his disregard for those labeling him as a snitch. I tell people all the time, I'm not a street guy. That went out the window a long time ago. I got 4 daughters and a son, but I got 4 daughters. One of them is in the music industry. Is that why you having an aha moment? How could I worry about me at 57 when I've been tried in so many other criminal cases that I could have got 100 years for, and I was the only one that ever got locked up. I never had nothing to say about nobody else, Bonds added. He continued, so to me, when it comes to Diddy in this situation, this is small fries to me. The only one that can say this is snitching is a person that hasn't been through anything in life. Bonds has been vocal about his thoughts on Cone since Cassie's lawsuit against the Bad Boy Records found its surface. In a sense-deleted post per Complex, he shared photos of himself and Cassie and wrote, I'm willing to tell my truth because so many years I was quiet. Nothing matters now but family. Cassie named Bonds in her lawsuit, saying that he witnessed Diddy allegedly stomping on her face in January 2009 incident after he saw her speaking to another music manager in a Los Angeles nightclub. She noted that Bonds attempted to intervene and prevent the assault, which was unsuccessful. So Bonds now, he got a daughter in the industry. He said he's ready to talk. And if he is called to testify against Diddy, he would. E, what are your thoughts on this situation?
So, for me, when you say that if you were called to testify, you would, it implies that you have something of substance to contribute to the case. You have seen something that is against the law. You have seen something immoral. You have seen something that comes with a penalty. And the fact that you're saying you will only offer that information if you were subpoenaed, to me, that goes back to your credibility as a witness. And I think that's something that a lot of jurors would take into consideration. Even if he does have something credible to offer, I still think it speaks to his ethics. Additionally, if you say that you have children in the music industry and you've seen firsthand what goes on, you know, I've said this on the channel before, and I believe, I can't remember who I got this from and who said this with me. But sometimes when we do things in life and when we overlook things and, turn the other cheek or turn a blind eye, sometimes that karma will boomerang, but it won't get us. It will get someone close to us who we love. That God forbid I wouldn't wish anything on anyone's children, but it's just the way life happens. It could happen to your parents, it could happen to your children who just happen to be in the same industry, which you have witnessed all of this demonic work go on in, and you stood by as a bystander and you did nothing to help someone else's daughter or someone else's son. I stand 10 toes. I still feel like it taints his credibility as a witness. And I feel like if you have something this substantial to say it right now.
I agree with you. Speak up now. Why you gotta wait? Oh, if they subpoena me, if they this. No, they're struggling. You got evidence on something, go bring it to the FBI.
Oh, wait. And one more thing. You said this before, Diva. If you were watching all of this go on, all of these FO parties, this white nail polish, all of these sessions, because what's his name? Gene Deal has said, he was in there. Diddy was with Keith Sweat's baby mama, and then Usher came in and kissed her in the mouth. So if Gene Deal is watching this and getting all excited. You mean to tell me Roger Bonds ain't seen nothing? He
Come on now.
didn't he didn't participate at least one time and say, excuse me, I got coverage. Can I take a 15-minute break real quick? If you have kept your mouth quiet all this time, what were you getting out of the deal? What have you participated in that could implicate you as an accomplice?
I mean, I agree with you, right? Here's the thing. You mean to tell me you're going to watch all of this sexual activity going on around you and you never got aroused and you never engaged? I can't believe that. I can't believe that. And I just can't believe that. That's all I got to say about that. Katrina, you're up.
It's a little loud where I am, y'all. But like y'all just said, if you had all this, you seen all this stuff happening to these women, y'all could have been stopped this a long time ago. Y'all let Diddy get away with all this mess because he was paying y'all. Maybe the money dried up, and now you're not getting what you normally get. It's a shame that all these women went through this, and these men knowing what these women went through, and they allow other women to come in and get treated the same way. It's disgusting. It's ridiculous. And all of them need to get exactly what coming to him. And Roger Bob want to do it now. You should have did it a long time ago. Maybe Cassie wouldn't have did what she did, and maybe the rest of them wouldn't have went through what they went through. That's all I got, Diva.
Okay, I appreciate you. Yeah. Now that he has 4 daughters, he's sitting back like, oh my God, I don't want this to happen to any, I wouldn't want any of this to happen to my daughters, and especially to my daughter that's in the music industry. Go ahead, E. Did you want to add something?
I did, because it reminds me of my child's father. How ironic that men who treat women or stand by and watch women get treated badly, God blesses you with daughters. How about that? How fun is that?
How
Choo
funny is that?
choo.
Choo choo. And not just daughters, he got 4 daughters and 1 son. 4 daughters,
Oh,
1 son. Mm-hmm. It's just very ironic and crazy. Listen, we're gonna see how
it's,
this thing pans out. Oh, go ahead, E. What was you gonna say?
it's something that'll keep a man up at night.
That part. And it's keeping him up because now all of a sudden he got a conscience, right? And he's ready to talk and help whoever he can. All right. I mean, in some way, shape, or form, I get it. Yeah, it's nice that you are speaking up now, but you could have spoke up then, and you saw these sinister ways, and you continue to work for him for over a decade. So that's where I have an issue at too. Just like with this latest lawsuit with Diddy, I'm gonna see how this goes down, because this porn star, there's a lot of holes in. See, I mean, but I guess you know what, she figured everybody else suing, let me get my lawsuit in there also. All right, so what did you see? Yeah, I saw him whitewater rafting. Listen, I said yesterday, he better than me. Somebody would be trying to feed me some soup or something. I would be probably 90 pounds like Jennifer Lopez is right now. Okay, I would be stressed the heck out, but he's not letting this thing bother him. He's going on life as usual. And I guess he's like, I guess in his mind, sometimes people really they get to the point where they don't believe anything that they do is wrong. And maybe that's where he is. But Diddy knows more than we know, right? And I will say this, there was a lot of people at them white parties. I can't imagine that all of them was continually coming to those white parties, wanting invites, and they wasn't engaging in none of this activity. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Thank you, Smack, to you. Yeah, come on, people, hit the like button and subscribe. So we're going to go ahead and roll into this next story. I think the world is so used to now, and let me back this up. Ever since, I guess, was that the Grammys? I forgot what award show it was. But whatever award show where Diddy and Jennifer Lopez showed up together, and Jennifer Lopez had on pretty much like, it was just a piece of material.
Yes, that was the Grammys.
The Grammys. And I mean, all the way down to her chest. I mean, it was showing a lot. A lot of skin was showing. And ever since then, nobody, I feel like, ever really wore clothes to any award show or in any street ever again. So we are so desensitized when it comes to seeing people with practically nothing on. And I will say this, when it comes to Kanye West and Bianca Censori, if they were average, everyday people, She would not be getting in the restaurants that they go into. I think it's absolutely disgusting for anybody that comes behind her and even herself to be sitting her bare bottom on chairs in the public with no clothes on. But
Yeah,
I guarantee you, go ahead, E.
it's gonna make me lose my appetite. It's indecent exposure.
It's indecent exposure. And you know how some restaurant says no shirt, no shoes, no service, but these two walk around and they're getting into every restaurant and doing everything. But I know that the world will not let the average everyday person walk around like that. But to move forward, I brought that up to talk about this current situation. Olivia Culpo, I'm not a sports girl, so I wouldn't have known of her or her husband now, but it was her fiance for a minute. I wouldn't have known of them had it not been for this story. So she recently got married, and his name is Christian McCaffrey. She recently got married to to her husband, to her fiance, which is now her husband. And she wore, which I thought she looked absolutely amazing. But there was TikTokers who just dragged her for filth over her dress. They called her a pick me over her makeup. And I'm like saying to myself, what in the world has everything come to where a person can't be fully dressed on their wedding and it be a problem? Like I didn't get what the uproar was about, but it was so nasty that even her husband had to come out and say, like, it's weird that people are picking on her over her choice of a wedding dress. And I think now when it comes to content creators, TikTok is the biggest craze. You can like blow up on TikTok, it seems like practically overnight. But it seems as if people will now do anything and say anything for a click and a view and to go viral. And I think it's getting way out of control. So let me go ahead and share screen so we can get into this story. Where is it? I think this is the one I want to show. I think. Let's see. So it's taking a minute to come through, but as it's coming through, I'll talk through it. So Olivia Culpo and Christian McCaffrey called out TikTok influencer for criticizing her wedding dress. And I thought she looked absolutely amazing. I mean, beautiful. First of all, she's a beautiful girl. Look at her face, right? Just an absolutely beautiful girl. And I think the dress was just amazing, especially in this day and age where everybody wants to show off their their body parts, wear see-through dresses. I didn't find anything wrong with this, and I thought she looked absolutely beautiful. Let me just pause this. So Olivia Culpo and Christian McCaffrey are not keeping quiet about the negativity against her wedding dress after a TikTok influencer took aim at her no personality Dolce & Gabbana wedding dress. On Wednesday, July 3rd, the San Francisco 49ers star came to his new wife's defense in the comments of the video posted by social media influencer Kennedy Bingham, aka Gown Eyed Girl, criticizing Culpo's ball gown. He was not impressed with the influencer video, calling it evil. He commented, and I do feel it was evil. What an evil thing to post online. I hope you can find joy and peace in the world the way my beautiful wife does. Olivia Culpo agreed with her new husband's comment and called the influencer an evil person for sharing her extremely hurtful video online. In her June 29 wedding to the NFL star, the former beauty queen wore a traditional plain wedding gown with a crepe crew neck, long sleeves, and buttoned line back by the Dolce & Gabbana, which Culpo described as modest and paired it with a 16-foot lace veil. I mean, she looked absolutely beautiful. So let's hear some of what this influencer said, which I thought was pretty evil too. Shoot, it jumped from, hold on guys, because it jumped from that screen to let me stop presenting and present the screen because it jumped to Instagram. Okay, let's present.
You just end up hearing about whether or not the person talking likes the way that it looks, which is extremely subjective. Like this dress, for example, if I were to just look at the dress, I would see a beautiful bride in a beautiful, simple, elegant dress. If we stopped there at just the way the dress looks, we'd really have nothing to say. But it's all the stuff surrounding the dress that leaves kind of a bitter aftertaste. She said two things. First of all, she says, I didn't want to exude sex in any way. The second thing she says is she wanted the dress to be as serious as she takes the covenant of marriage. Now listen, there is nothing wrong with wanting a modest wedding dress or just modest attire in general. But the way that she was talking about this went beyond just wanting something modest for herself and pushing this idea of what she thinks all brides should look like. First and foremost, you could get married in your underwear and be taking your marriage vows very seriously. What you wear on your wedding day has almost nothing to do with whether or not you're going to have a long and happy marriage. I also have a big issue with the terminology of not wanting to exude sex with what you're wearing, because in an oxymoronic way, it is both your choice and not your choice to exude any amount of sex no matter what you're wearing. Let me explain because it's kind of confusing. First of all, the choice of exuding sex. I could wear something and on me it looks super modest and on another person it look really risque, because we are all different people and the way we carry ourselves has a lot to do with the amount of like sex and confidence we're exuding. But on the flip side, it has been documented that it does not matter what women wear, they will be sexualized if someone wants to sexualize them. So to treat this as if like this is a sexless design is really odd to me, because both it is your choice if you do not want to exude sex in this gown, but also if people want to sexualize you, it is not your fault if they do that. Her two statements next to each other are a very eloquent way of saying that you are asking for whatever you are dressed as, which is an extremely harmful way of thinking. I also just think it's so weird how much she talks about coverage, especially as someone who in her day-to-day life is not exactly a modest dresser. She even says that her husband thinks she's the most beautiful when she's timeless, covered, and elegant. I just think the usage of the word covered is so icky, because you are not covered in day-to-day life. And also, why is he thinking that you're the most beautiful when you're covered? That's such an odd thing. All celebrity weddings will have a little bit of marketing sprinkled in there. I just think it's really odd that instead of marketing herself, she's like marketing and pushing this conservative agenda. But let's like take the politics and everything aside, because there's other things that she mentioned in the article that kind of induced an eye roll from me. First, she says what sealed the deal for her is that when she went on the internet, there was nothing out there like this dress. Hun, it's a high neck, long sleeve white dress. I think I could walk into any bridal shop and find you like 3 of these. This Leah DeGloria gown is almost like an exact replica. I went on Pinterest for about 5 minutes and found all of these. Any bridal designer worth their salt could have designed this dress in their sleep. The main reason why you don't see a lot more brides in this exact dress is because it usually doesn't make it past the muslin stage in the designer showroom. There is no personality in this dress. Usually wedding dresses will have something of the bride. And
all right, I'm sick of her. I can't even hear her no more. I mean, I think it was unnecessary. I thought it was a little mean. I'm going to go back to the article really quickly because I cannot with this girl. I feel like she looked beautiful and we could leave it at that and carry on, right? And being video, which she posted on both her Instagram and TikTok accounts, she has criticized Culpo's modest description of her wedding gown, instead calling it nothing and saying that it has the absence of personality. She captioned a post from Miss Universe to Miss Pick Me, Olivia Culpo is earning her crown. Olivia Culpo defends her wedding gown, ending in back and forth with TikTok influencer. Christian McCaffrey was seemingly annoyed with the influencer's candid thoughts about his new wife's wedding dress. Olivia Culpo also defended her gown of choice, commenting on BM's TikTok video. She wrote in the comments per screenshot shared in Van's Instagram story, "Wow, what an absolute evil person you are. I hope no one ever tears you apart in this way because it's extremely hurtful. I love this dress and it was everything I ever wanted and more." BM also commented that her dress was beautiful and that she looked stunning in it, but it was everything surrounding that dress that the creator didn't agree with. Olivia Culpo clarified some things in the comments regarding what the creator is saying in the video, like her line about getting eyebrow enhancement, which ended up in a back and forth with BM. Culpo said, Also, no, I do not have eyebrow lamination or lash extensions. I'm sorry, that infuriates you. Olivia Culpo's comment led to being pointed out her choice to work with Dolce and Gabbana, whom the creator said has a long history of homophobia and racism. This girl, for whatever reason, this content creator just did not like this woman. And my thing is, she should have never engaged with the content creator back. I mean, she looked absolutely beautiful. I wouldn't try to defend my choice of a wedding dress, especially with any creator. It's what I wanted. I did it. I would have left it at that. The TikTok influencer also reiterated what she said in the video, saying that the former Miss Universe words push a harmful standard of misogyny, which caused the Culpo sisters start to comment. Are you saying I'm racist, homophobic, and misogynistic because of my wedding dress? So the millions of people who wear DG are all racist and homophobic? What a bizarre human you are. Being a reply to Culpo's comment saying that because the former beauty queen chose to directly work with designer, then they are co-workers, which is different from millions of people who buy from the brand. So further clarified that she's not saying anything about Culpo specifically, only that her actions allude to a certain mindset. This was a horrible back and forth. I'm surprised though, the bride, I don't know why she chose to engage with this chick. I wouldn't have. It was just crazy to me. E, what are your thoughts?
So, Diva, I have to be honest. I was thrown by the part about being homophobic and racist. I was waiting for them to expound on that, but when I tried to do a quick Google search, I found nothing to substantiate that. So I'm going to speak from what we just saw and what we just heard. Two things. One, the commentator said something I thought was key. She said on different body types, the same piece of clothing can appear different, depending on how tall you are, how much you weigh, so on and so forth. And I agree with that. And I've said it before, I'm of a bigger bust. I'm a 34D. I have hips, I have curves. If I wear the same dress that Olivia wore, I will look totally different because I don't like crew necks and exaggerated hips on girls with big busts. I mean, me. I don't like it on me. The way it looks on me, it just feels like it's too tight, too stuff, and like I'm trying to hide something. So that's why I prefer a little bit of a low cut and show a little something, but not too much. And I agree on Olivia. The three things that came to mind when I saw those pictures, I thought timeless, I
Mhm.
thought elegant, and I thought minimalist. It didn't need to do too much because um, her face was nicely done. If I had to pick out any critique to give, I would have wanted her hair to be up, but it's not my day. But I just would have preferred her hair to be in a bun. But I think that what the commentator was forgetting is that at the reception, she did wear something that was a little bit more um,
She did.
see through, a bit more flirty and fun and a bit more short and a bit more modern. And so I love that contrast. I feel like this is how we're walking into the church. You're going to marry me, and then afterwards we're going to let our hair down, we're going to dance, we're going to get into something more comfortable. Traditionally, that is the way that the bride does show up. The dress is something that is very formal, and then once you get to the reception, it's a bit something that you can move around a bit more in. And so I do feel like the criticism was a bit harsh, but I'm going to end with this. I agree with you, Diva. I'm not sure why Olivia responded because I would have never known about this TikToker until you brought it up. It became news because Olivia responded. And I think that the celebrities have to keep in mind you have the power, and when you speak on it and you share light in that direction, you are intentionally or unintentionally making this news. You're making this person popular. You're driving traffic towards their direction. And if you know you look beautiful, you're dressed in Dolce and Gabbana, your husband loved the dress. More importantly, you loved the dress and you loved the way you felt in it. What the hell are you? What are you doing? Sorry, Diva. What are you doing looking at TikTok and taking in this negative energy regarding a day which was so beautiful and you were surrounded by so many people who loved you. Take that in and let that be enough because she looked great.
She looked amazing. And she has a diverse, personality when it comes to her dressing. I think this is cute from when she got engaged. And there's people that they're going to say what they're going to say and they're going to hate. But I mean, for you to step off your throne and engage in it is crazy. She looked like she had an amazing wedding day.
Yes, and I love that reception dress. I love the shoes. I love that. I love to see, and everybody is having fun. So I hear when people say, "Oh, well, she wanted to defend her choice." You don't have to defend your choice. Your choice is your choice, and it's done.
It's
It's
done.
done.
It's done. It's done, and that is super cute right there too.
I love it.
And she did it the way she wanted to do it. I mean, don't feel like you got to defend yourself from people that's going to hate on you no matter what you wear.
That don't know you and
don't know you, yeah,
and can't afford the dress. How about that?
How about that? How about that? And I think this is a classic, timeless picture. It's absolutely gorgeous.
And again, this was in a church, isn't it?
Yep.
So that is why I can understand why she didn't want to come into, because when you mentioned the covenant of marriage, I believe some people take that seriously for those who do want to get married and take their religion and their relationship with the higher power seriously. And when you walk in there, you want to represent that. You want to represent something serious, not an after party going to see P. Diddy.
Right. Yeah, she had a beautiful day. She stepped off her throne along with her husband to address this TikToker, and I don't think it was necessary. Katrina, you're up.
It's still a little noisy out here. It's a little noisy. But I'm
Okay.
still trying to show you some love. The thing of it is, that was her wedding day. So you don't have to worry about what somebody say about what you're wearing. If that's what you picked out, if that's what you feel comfortable in, if that's what you like. So the commentator, like you said, if she wouldn't have responded to her, she would have had no energy. She did what she wanted to do. She got married. She was happy, and she celebrated later. So why worry about what a nobody that you really don't even know who this is commenting on your dress? This is your dress. This is what you picked. This is what you like. So why worry about what somebody couldn't even buy you in the first place? That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Oh yeah, no, he did it up. Listen. You live in this type of life, and you're going to respond to a TikToker. I mean, I wouldn't have done it. But to me, she looked beautiful. That's right, everybody. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. We're going to go ahead and roll into this last story, which it seems like it's happening a lot these days, and it's pretty sad. And it's like you send your child to school for education, and the one that's responsible for educating them is preying on them. And it's pretty sad. Now, these two articles, I'm going to really go through the shorter version of the article. So I'm going to show that first, and then I'm going to pull up the longer version, which has more detail, and which I'll put in the description of this video in case y'all want to go through the longer version. But the New York Post had a condensed version, and I'm going to go through that. So, teacher who had sex with two students and got pregnant by one cries at sentencing. Breathtaking arrogance this teacher had. Okay. Let me just pause this. So a British school teacher who had sex with two male students, becoming pregnant by one of them, cried as she landed 6.5 years in the slammer Thursday. And 6.5 years is actually kind of lenient, okay? Disgraced 30-year-old Rebecca Joyce, I'm going to call her, a former gymnast, says she was lonely after a long-term relationship ended during COVID and trying to explain away her sick actions, which included buying one of the victims a Gucci belt before taking his virginity. There is a breathtaking arrogance in your conduct. You were the adult, see Kate Carnell, the judge who sentenced her, in the Manchester, England case, according to reports. You were the person in control, the person who should have known better and entrusted by the school and the boys and by their parents of caring for their sons, the judge told the blonde pedophile. Instead, you abused that position of trust and exploited the privileged role for your own sexual gratification. Jones began working for Manchester High School as a math teacher in 2018. Now, that is a picture of her with her father. The jury heard how she groomed her victims, referred to in the trial as Boy A and Boy B, since the age of 15. She had sex with them when they were 15 and 16, the Telegraph reported. Boy B, the father of her child, told the court he was coerced, controlled, manipulated, and sexually abused. The abuse tore my family apart, the boy said in his victim impact statement, noting how he struggled with giving evidence against the woman who gave birth to his child. Boy A testified that the teacher sent him flirty messages on Snapchat and gifted him the $450 designer belt before taking his virginity. This is a message from Boy A. Am I coming later or no? And this is the teacher. You better have come now. You told me you are. Boy A, don't worry, I will. This is a picture of them two in the store and her buying him the Gucci belt. Boy A's mother had quickly found out about the abuse, and the teacher subsequently was fired and turned into the authorities. But while out on bail, the sick former teacher shamelessly began a new relationship with Boy B and lied to him that she was infertile. The day before before her second arrest, she planned a date night with Boy B and told him the news of her pregnancy. This is the boy. He said, I was like, what the F? The boy said to the police. That this year she gave birth to their child, who was taken away from her the next day. Though Jones wept in the courtroom claiming she had ruined her dream job, she denied any wrongdoing. She outright rejected the notion that she had any sexual activity with Boy A and claimed her relationship with Boy B only began after he left school and she had been dismissed from her job. Jones was eventually found guilty on 6 counts of sexual activity with a child, according to a report by Sky News. Boy B said the consequences of her predatory actions will haunt him indefinitely. Ultimately, I will forever be Rebecca's victim and forever linked to her through our child, he said. This is just shameful. Now, let me stop sharing and share the screen again with another article. I didn't go through this one. This one I will attach in the description of the video. It's way longer. It has more details. It details exactly how, she, how she, was a predator, preyed on them. It shows a video where she actually took the kid. I'll show this one first, to the store to purchase the, I'll mute that until it skips this ad. And that's the kid there. That's the Gucci belt. That's her standing there, the teacher. It's no sound, just in case you are wondering. And they're ringing it. She pays for it. And, many people were saying with this particular story, if this was a man, the people would have been more outraged. Okay. Because the boys were like, of course, like she was an attractive teacher. And this is her taking him to the house. Love you, Mom. Love you too. Okay, so there you saw she took him to her house and she tried to deny that all of this happened
in the past.
But they had actual video footage of her doing this. And now this is the footage of them arresting her, coming to her house to arrest her. Wait, I don't know why my internet is acting up today. But as I'm waiting for this to play, E, tell me your thoughts on this particular story, and then we'll stop when it
Well,
comes to. Oh wait, let's do this. This coming. This is the cops coming to.
I'm not sure how much you know what's going on, but Colin's just got something that you.
So obviously, given what's happened, I know you've been sent home from school today. So you are under arrest at the moment on suspicion of sexual activity with a child. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention one question, something which you later rely in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence.
How's it gone so far since?
So the necessity for the arrest is obviously to protect the vulnerable and for prompt and effective investigation. So obviously you are under caution. You will be given obviously your chance to say everything at the station, but obviously for the time being you're under arrest. So
I mean, how shameful. Now, she had a nickname in the school because the children, like the students had a nickname for her because she had a big bottom, big booty. I think they called her Bunda Becky. Her name was Rebecca. They called her Bunda Becky because she had a big bottom. And it's just a shame. Like this one goes into more details of the relationship. Or no, I'm sorry, I'm calling it relationship. It wasn't a relationship of how she manipulated these boys and how she ended up having the baby. Now, this is her father. Her parents stood by her throughout this trial because this is her father, like walking her into the court. And then there were also days where she would come into the court and she would have tucked in her clothes, baby clothes, hoping she would get sympathy from the the jurors for what she did, and they had no mercy on her. But 6.5 years is nothing. I'm trying to see if I could show the picture. It may be hard to see here, but inside her black pants there, she has tucked a onesie, and that's her mom and dad accompanying her to court. Just sick. Yeah, she is a pedophile. Very sick. E, your thoughts? E, are you there? Did I lose you? Katrina, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What are your thoughts on this situation?
Satan come in all kinds of disguises, and this is a Satan. This is a
is it
demon.
my turn?
It was. Give me a minute, E, because I
Oh,
skipped you. Go ahead.
sorry.
Okay.
I lost
This is a
signal. Sorry.
demon. I'm sorry, E. This is a demon. Satan
Mhm.
come in all different disguises. First of all, what happened in her childhood? I'm not saying that the parents or something did it, but I'm just saying what happened in your childhood that you feel that you have to SA a child. You can't find a man your age. I mean, come on. What is it? Is it an ego driven thing? You got a problem, lady. You did this once and you they fired you and what's up. Then you did it again. So what you thought you wouldn't get caught because you went at the school? This is ridiculous. This is sad. And yes, I think she's a Mary Kay Letourneau, whatever that woman name is. And they all do this sick stuff with students. And if she says she got a child, they need to take that child away from her because who to say what she would do to her own child if you doing it to somebody else's. I don't trust people like that. Like I said, she needs mental health. She needs something because, like I said, those are demons. Anybody that take a child innocence is not of God. And whatever happened to her needs to happen to her. That's all I got, Diva.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Katrina. E, your thoughts?
I'm sorry. I don't know what was going on with my device, but can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can.
So I have a few thoughts on this, and first of all, my first thought was, I'm so glad this was not a black woman because I was thinking, what the hell is this $450 for a Gucci belt for a child's virginity? What the hell is going on? It's
Mm.
disgusting, it's sick, and it's perverted. And she says she was driven to this after a breakup during COVID. No, the truth of the matter is, whatever she went through with this adult male, it was painful coming to terms that she could not control that adult male. And whatever brokenness that she felt she was experiencing, she was trying to put a band-aid on it and tempted herself with the idea that she could be able to control and groom a younger male. And it's no different, like you said, than if an older man does this with a young girl and preys on her. It's the same exact thing. It's predatory, it's sick, and it's inexcusable. This lady is 30 years old and she's carrying on like she's a 16-year-old, lying and saying she's infertile and she can't get pregnant. What the hell is that? To me, it sounds like she planned to get pregnant, because who the hell says something like that? Who
Yeah.
does that? She planned that. And then here you go, 8 months later, now you pop up pregnant. She ruined that boy's life. That's what she did. He said that she coerced him, she controlled him, and she manipulated him. And now she is the mother to his first child, and she took his virginity. Can you imagine? People have a hard enough time co-parenting without all of this perversion. So can you imagine? I think they was 15 and 16 when they started. And so I believe now he might be 17 or 18, but this is too young to be anybody's parent, first of all. But having to co-parent with someone who is in prison and having to look at a baby who shares a reflection as your abuser is too much for anybody. And then, mind you, what this person's parents must be having to go through to even have to help this child co-parent and raise a baby that still shares the reflection of the abuser. This whole situation is all kinds of messed up.
All kinds.
And 6.5 years is unreal to me, because if this were my child, I wouldn't have to go to the court. I have to take justice into my own hands, because 6.5 years is a slap in the face.
It's a slap in the face. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And then she tried to lie and say that she didn't get involved with boy B. So so I guess wherever they're at, 16 is the age of consent, right? So what she tried to say was that she really didn't have sex with boy B until he was 16. But he testified at 15 he did kiss her. So it's just unreal. It's so unbelievable. I will never understand and see what a grown person sees in a young child sexually. It will never make sense to me. It's just so incredibly sad. And I think she should do more time. And they took the baby. So the baby is not with her. And I'm guessing that, and I can understand that the mother, the boy's mother probably didn't want to take the kid either. So they said they took the baby. So I don't know who they took the baby and gave the baby to.
Now, normally I would feel some type of way about that, but I can understand why that would be hard for those grandparents and how that would be hard on that boy. It's all kinds of messed up, but I can understand why they would not want that child. I don't agree with it, but I understand.
I understand too. I really do. I understand too. And it's very sad, but I definitely understand too. And like you said, normally there's different situations. I'll be saying something different, but in this situation, definitely understand. Hey Wayne, you're in the building. Any thoughts on this particular story?
I kind of caught the tail end of it, but I got the gist of what's going on. And it's no excuse, because regardless of what happened to you in your life, regardless, that's bad and that's sad. But you can't put that on somebody else and cause harm to somebody else and then bring up what happened in your life. They may work in court, maybe reduce your sentence, but you just injured somebody else. You didn't just maim somebody else for life. Okay? And the family, not only that, not just one person, two people, because you got an unwanted child that nobody wants. Can you imagine? Remember that girl that was missing, and then they found her up in Ohio? She'd been locked up. Her and two other girls been locked up for 10 years. You don't remember that?
No, wait, you got to give me more details.
in Ohio. This girl, Amanda, somebody, she had been
Amanda Knox.
It wasn't that. It was somebody. She went missing back. I forgot when it was, but anyway, this black guy is going down. I guess he's going down the street, and he hears somebody yelling. The guy had kidnapped him. She wasn't far from the neighborhood.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because when that guy did his news interview, it went viral.
Yeah, him.
Because it was like dead giveaway. He said it was a dead giveaway when she ran into his arms. I know exactly.
He said when a white girl, little white girl come running, nothing must be wrong. And she had a baby by the guy, right? And so he kind of took the baby and took it around his parents and stuff like that, because they don't know what's going on. So do you think that those, I hate to even call them grandparents, you think she want her children or her child to have anything to do with that family, the family of the man that assaulted you? No, she don't have nothing to do with her. So again, you got a child who doesn't have that side of the family and probably will never, Amanda Berry, will never know that side of the family. So I'm saying these people, these predators, you are hurting somebody else for the rest of their life. It's no excuse. Even if you get therapy and stuff like that, you need more than therapy. You need more than therapy. You need some therapy, and your tail need to be sitting in jail somewhere, so you have a whole lot of time to think about. So while you're going through the therapy, you getting your incarceration in at the same time, because it's just no excuse. When you have, children are vulnerable and you use them like that, and young men or young boys, I don't know how old the boy was, but I can see how he could be persuaded or swayed by an older woman. So this is just uncalled for. She needs to be off the streets. She needs to have documented that she is a actual predator. So when she goes in the neighborhood, just like when guys, if you go in the neighborhood, somebody in my neighborhood was a sexual predator, and somebody in the neighborhood printed up a flyer and took it upon themselves and put it in everybody's box in the community.
Wow.
That the address, that he lived at such and such an address. And eventually I think he was gone. So, I mean, this should be a shame. And how should I say? This should be a shame on them.
Yeah.
So that's all. It's no excuse. I mean, it happens, but it's never any excuse for it,
Yeah, I agree with you.
If everybody go out and do something because something happened to them, we'd be jacked up.
That part. Now that part, man. That part.
This happened to me from somebody else.
Or something. You are correct. That part. Yeah. Very sad. Very sad. Whew. Yes.
Can I say that comment that you had on the screen from Lucy Ann?
Yeah.
Was that about this particular case where she said, because
she's saying, yeah.
Because that adds different context. If she's saying that the boy wanted to know about it, but because he doesn't have any rights to the baby, because until the baby is born and he signed the birth certificate, who is he? And so she's saying, yeah, social services had refused to let them update him about the baby's due date, gender, or health. And he said, the thought of not being able to see my child was heartbreaking. Oh, that is terrible.
So she's evil. She's evil.
Well, no, she's a manipulated bit. I mean,
yeah. I know. Yes, she is.
Because what I can see from her doing that is, if you are giving them information to build a case on me, I'm not going to give you any information about this baby. In order for you to see this baby, you got to see me. You got to make sure I don't go down. Oh yeah. Oh, she's diabolical. That one.
Ooh.
Oh, she's sickening.
You just hit the nail on the head, E. That's exactly what she was doing. So since he testified against her, she's making him pay with the baby. That is so unfair. She's evil. And 6.5 years is nothing. That's a walk in the park. Walk in the park. I'm going to roll right into the feel-good story. Hold on, guys. Let me present this screen.
We brought you last August. PepsiCo this month formalized its name change for the popular pancake mix Aunt Jemima. The decision to phase out the brand was made last year in the midst of the so-called racial reckoning in this country. But tonight, the family of the first woman who played Aunt Jemima is worried in the push to correct perceived wrongs that her history is in danger of being erased. Our Deborah Roberts reports on the effort to preserve her legacy.
A familiar box in kitchens all across the country is about to change for good. After 131 years, PepsiCo is rebranding Aunt Jemima pancake mix. Get ready for the Pearl Milling Company mix. And while some celebrate the end of this imagery, others not so much.
For sure, it was a punch in the gut. Why would you do that? At this specific time, why would you choose that name?
Pearl Milling, the company that helped create the original self-rising mix, found success only after the two white owners hired a black woman to perfect and market the recipe.
Your biggest hope was that what? That they would actually just put the histories of the actual women in place of Aunt Jemima?
That was our hope, that they would do the right thing and acknowledge the women who made this brand successful worldwide.
We first brought you that untold story of one of America's hidden figures months ago, revealing her unmarked Chicago grave, which recently got a formal headstone.
For that to happen 100 years later, for her to get her gravestone, for her to get her tombstone, it's just amazing.
You've probably never heard her name, but Nancy Green has likely been in your kitchen.
When my mom would prepare pancakes, that was just part of the whole experience of being in the household, is that you sat there and waited for the pancakes to be prepared so that you could get them, hot off the griddle.
Right there on your pancake box.
As a kid, my mother always made those.
Everybody ate those pancakes.
And Jemima pancakes without her
face on the box was probably the one way that households were integrated.
Add some butter and syrup. You'll like them. Aunt Jemima. Perfect pancakes in 10 shakes.
The Aunt Jemima recipe, pioneered by Nancy Green, giving rise to the American pancake. Long before she pioneered that famous mix, Nancy Green was born into slavery in Montgomery County, Kentucky.
She was taken away from, she's not with her family, but she is learning to survive and use her God-given talent to still push forward and move forward, which is the story of most African-American people in the United States, that they used what they had to become what they were.
After the Civil War, Green moved to a divided Chicago, becoming a strong voice at Olivet Baptist Church, the oldest Black congregation.
This church was noted for its work to shield those who had escaped slavery, who arrived here in Chicago, because there were many slave catchers in Chicago still pursuing people who were of African descent.
Sherry Williams lives in Chicago's Bronzeville neighborhood and has been shining a light on Nancy Green's story for more than a decade.
Most people have no idea who Nancy Green was. Why is that, do you think?
I believe because she is looked upon as a character, as opposed to a living, breathing individual.
Even connecting the dots for one of her descendants.
She actually opened up a box that we couldn't open.
Literally opened a box. Marcus Hayes only recently learned about his family's past.
When I found out about it, to be honest, I was shocked and excited at the same time.
A history forged through a recipe Nancy Green first whipped up for the family she cooked and cared for.
It was so good that the boys would now tell everyone, hey, I have a caretaker who cooks for us, and she makes this amazing recipe, and she calls them flapjacks. And the milling company heard about it and knew that she was using their meal. They came and sought her out.
Just like that, Aunt Jemima was born. The big debut, the World's Fair at Chicago's Jackson Park back in 1893. Green selling 50,000 boxes of the now famous pancake mix.
She was the trusted face back then. You know, anybody who would look at an African-American woman cooking, they knew that they can trust her cooking.
And over all those years, ads for Aunt Jemima never mentioning Nancy Green.
She was a businesswoman. She created her own agency through what she did well as a storyteller, as a cook, as a nurse.
After Green died in 1923, other women became the living Aunt Jemima symbols, ambassadors hired by Quaker Oats to continue the legacy. Last June, in the midst of the country's racial reckoning, PepsiCo, Quaker Oats' parent company, decided it was time for Aunt Jemima to go. And weeks ago, the new brand revealed. Nancy Green's family, disappointed, says no one reached out to them.
What do you want to say to PepsiCo right now?
Conversation. All it takes is a conversation. When you move in silence, only one side of the story is being told.
If they had changed the name to Pearl Milling Company and still somehow acknowledged Nancy Green and others on the back of the product, might that have been a solution?
That would have been a very positive solution. You know, how great and how noble it would be to acknowledge that you know that there were profound women who represented the product.
There are people who are concerned right now about images, antiquated images, these minstrel images, which is why PepsiCo is thinking maybe it's time for that image to go. What's your feeling about that?
In no time ever have I heard anyone in my community say that this image was one that was derogatory. So I don't know where that sentiment is coming from.
In a statement to ABC News on the name change, PepsiCo said, "Our hope is that those who trusted and loved Aunt Jemima over the years will continue to support the brand as Pearl Milling Company and understand our need to evolve." PepsiCo maintaining it is a common misperception that the brand's original image was premised on a specific person.
It's not about money. This is about the truth.
A truth and a story now being told.
Nancy, you're a storyteller, and now your story is being told again.
After a decade-long push, Sherry finally raised the money to give this trailblazer a proper headstone and marker she's long deserved. Headstone artist Mark Hunt not even aware of Nancy Green's past.
It's been an inspiration to me, and it's been an eye-opener for me. Yeah, because a lot of people like myself didn't know what she did.
Carefully etching a face that will now be preserved for generations.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh my God. Phenomenal.
Sherry getting her first look at the headstone she's fought so hard for.
I love it. Look at the details.
Love born out of America's racial reckoning and the realization of hard work still ahead.
You're about to go and view Nancy Green's headstone and celebrate what has finally become her, official legacy. To have this name change happen now, just before you're about to go and acknowledge her in this way, it must feel a little different for you.
Yeah, definitely leaves a hole. If she was here, my words to her was, we're trying. We're trying. We're sorry that it had to happen this way, but we're trying.
For ABC News Live, I'm Deborah Roberts.
Her legacy certainly still lives on. Our thanks to Deborah for that.
Hi, everyone.
Let me stop sharing the screen. It's interesting because the family was suing. They think they resolved it by saying, "Oh, we just gonna change the name," because they're saying that way back when there was a contract between the original face of Aunt Jemima and the company that she was going to get paid some profits that never got paid, and they're saying there was never agreement. So I guess their way of solving it was like, "Oh, we're just going to take the face off and just change the whole name altogether," which is a little bit messy, but it's so sad how there's a lot of things historically that Black people were a part of, and they was just wiped out of that history, or that history was sort of kind of covered up. And there's documentation that their pancake mix wasn't perfected, and did not start selling until they put the face of Aunt Jemima on it. We got a little bit of time if you want to quickly have a comment about this. E, I don't know if you want to say anything.
Well, from what I understand, they changed the name, right?
Mm-hmm.
I won't be buying.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Because
absolutely.
I love the name Aunt Jemima,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what sold me.
Right.
And if this wasn't the Black woman's recipe, because I didn't know this history, if you're telling me you just put that on there to sell more product, well, then you should have left it alone. Because if you think I'm picking up some pearl millings, you got another thing coming, sister.
Well, there you have it. I appreciate you, E. Katrina.
I'm with E. I'm not finna do it either. I make my own from homemade before I do that. It's just ridiculous that we never get appreciated when we have done this stuff over and over again, and it's sad. But that's all I got, y'all. These fireworks popping up, and I want to keep your thing.
That's fine. That's fine. We hear them. Thank you, Katrina. No problem. Wayne.
Well, I'm like E. She took the words out of my mouth. I won't be buying it. And if they change the name back to it, I still wouldn't be buying it.
Oh shoot.
One, because you're still not giving nothing back to the family.
Right.
Okay. And if they were sincere in all that, you know what they would have done? On the back of that box, they could have put, it's enough, without taking up the whole back of it, the actual picture of Nancy Green and the brief history about the pancakes, how it came forth, acknowledging that.
Right.
Okay. And I think that the day she was born, that's what they need to make National Pancake Day.
Oh shoot, that's a good idea, Wayne.
Come on,
Wayne.
Wayne.
That's the best way that they can remember. Put it out like that. That this day is National Pancake Day for Nancy Green, and to get the history out there. Okay. Like I grew up on Aunt Jemima pancakes, but I didn't know the history behind it.
I did not either.
But you know what? This applies now because this is how you whitewash history.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't pay no attention to it at the time they're taking this, like in Florida, how they're taking all the books out of the school. You know, they're making Rosa Parks either not in the book or making her look different. They don't mention that she was Black. So there you go. You're taking the books out of school and you're whitewashing history. You start to tell history. Now you're starting to tell history the way you want it told.
Right.
Okay. So we know about Aunt Jemima pancakes because of what they told us. The way they put it. She got nothing for it. No acknowledgement. The same guy who did I think it's Jack Daniels or something like that. Yep. He didn't get credit for it. They stole his recipe, whatever it was, and nobody ever knew. Back then, they knew that it was the guy did Jack Daniels. But you see how they whitewashed the history?
Yeah.
Faded out to now, nobody knew. And now things that were whitewashed back then are coming out. But that's what I wouldn't buy a box of pancakes if her name was on it or that Millie's name was on it, because it's not coming from the heart. If they did that, they would only be doing it because Pearl Milling didn't sell pancakes. Those boxes ain't flying. The boxes ain't flying off the shelf. So you watch. I could be wrong. They go probably win because it's all about the money. They don't care. It's all about the money. But if them milling pancakes don't sell, they're gonna go back to Aunt Jemima. You know, I could totally be wrong, but that's what I feel because it's not sincere. You know, rather than tell them, you know, and that's owned by Pepsi-Cola, right? That company, PepsiCo.
Yeah. PepsiCo.
They got enough money. They got enough money that they could have went to that family and they could have gave them some millions or whatever and said, we want to keep the name as it is and keep the image, or however they update it. I like to update the image of Aunt Jemima, you know, but they could have given that family some life-changing money.
Yep.
and kept the name on there and still selling pancakes.
Yep.
But you what?
Maybe even sold anymore because they could have had the new. Thank you, Katrina. That was a nice view. They could have had thank you. They could have had maybe even a more bigger following. But you know what I really like, Wayne? I like what you said, that Pancake Day.
Yeah, that should be National Pancake Day in honor of Nancy Green.
Yes, I really like that. National Pancake Day. Listen, it's so much that we don't know until we know, and when we know, we can make different decisions. And yes, certified crooks. It's a shame.
And even not only that, PepsiCo is a big company because they're Pepsi-Cola. What if people take it a step further? Oh, not only we ain't buying your pancakes, we ain't gonna buy your Pepsi-Cola.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna buy any of those other drinks that Pepsi makes.
Well, we need to stop drinking that anyway. So come on, Wayne, you talking too real and too right.
Right, yeah. I'm done.
I know. Listen, we're about to close out. I see Queen Tosa, Tay, you in the building. Anything you want to say really quickly about this story before I close out?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, gray hair diva and the panelists. I just wanted to say Diddy is getting his just due. Prayers up to those children that are dealing with this whole situation because he is going down. He is preparing to go to jail. It is documented that he's selling that mansion. And if memory serves me correctly, isn't that the same mansion that Miss Kim Porter was, found unresponsive in?
It is not.
Okay. I had a fact wrong. But I'm ready to see everyone get justice, everyone in the Tupac case, and all the topics that you guys discovered tonight or talked over. Thank you for bringing them up. Half of them I didn't know, but thank you for your time, your effort, and your dedication to the streets and giving us the news.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate you. All righty. All right, guys. Listen, guys, if y'all did Tay, any comments? I'm sorry before I go out.
I just want to say happy 4th of July to everybody.
Yes. Thank you so much. Listen, happy 4th of July, everybody. Thank you, Katrina, for showing us some fireworks. We appreciate it. And thank you,
girl. I got you.
Yes. And thank you, everybody, for coming through and being here. Listen, guys, support, okay? There's so much going on in the world right now. Support. E has a channel, In Touch with E. She'll throw the link in the chat again. Go over there, like, subscribe, and share. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate y'all spending the 4th with me. Okay, thank you so much. Hit that like button, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.